when I was a young child, we moved to Rockford, Illinois, which was really a machine tool town. I came from a family with incredible work ethic. My sister was a teacher. My other sister was a nurse. And my father worked for Ford for 35 years, very loyal. So I kind of grew into this industry with absolute admiring people that were legends in our industry. My wife was from Rockford, Chris, who has been an enormous part of my life. We've been married just recently 54 years. And I owe her so much for my life and for everybody that knows Chris in our industry. She didn't necessarily know a lot about machine tools, but she did a very good job of convincing a lot of customers that they ought to buy a Mazak somehow. So I was recruited by Mazak, and boy, what a different company it was in those days. I think there were 9 Japanese guys and 1 American in a room interviewing me all at the same time. And I thought, oh, wow, this is different. It's a little intimidating. First of all, I was a guy that never saw the ocean until I was in college. Never saw the ocean. Could I ever imagine that I would take 90 trips to Japan, and my father worked for Ford. He had a thing against Japanese companies at the time. It was like, oh my God, that's the end of the world. The culture of this company, instead of being a Japanese company or an American company, it's some kind of a hybrid that's unique. Many people know us as a U.S. company, and we act like it. In fact, one time, Terry Yamazaki invited me to Japan, and he said, I want you to know, you always run this, you respect the laws of the United States, and you run this as a U.S. company. Okay, now you can go home. We were the first company from Japan to manufacture in the state of Kentucky. I believe there's about 160 of those companies today, and many of them came through Mazak. And the success of Mazak drove others to come here. I remember when I first came, we were doing an expansion, and we were kind of slowed up a little bit because we hit rock. And Terry Yamazaki came over here and said, what's delaying this? Well, we hit rock. Why didn't you blast? In other words, be committed. Be committed to do what you say you're going to do. I think that's been, that's part of our mission statement. If we say we're going to do it, and I've tried to follow that guideline. I think we were aggressive, and at the same time, I think people don't know how conservative we really are inside the company about the decision making sometimes. What looks aggressive, because we study the problem really hard before we do it, and then we might move fast. I think we tried to set up a pattern of leadership for the industry.
We're recording this for an award that you're being presented with, Al. So talk a little bit about what it means to you and your experiences with our organization.
I respect Al more. Great leader, wonderful person. It's hard for me to be sitting here imagining that I could get this award. He was somebody I really looked up to, and his wife Pat also. They were good friends of ours. And Al, he was really early in developing a new strategic plan for the future that would create an association for manufacturing technology. We had the name, but it didn't become that. And that was the early years of actually creating and so I was quite involved with writing that one of those early strategic plans for the association. And Al was a he was the glue to keep these things together and try to move it in a more progressive direction. And so I had tremendous respect for him. I had tremendous respect for the company he came from, Gleason, and I couldn't be more proud and honored to have an award that had his name in it.